Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing this morning? All right, let's take a look at what we got going on today. Excuse me. Still battling that cold, that weather change cold that we always get. Every time the weather changes. All right. So BYND and GRUB, they have been up all morning. GRUB, I don't really like the chart right now. There's really no price action there. So I don't really care much for it, but that doesn't mean that it won't, that it can't pick up at the open. It's just for the last hour or so, hour and a half, it just hasn't really done much. BYND has been the more active one. So we've got our pre-market low setting here. Better mark this red so I don't mistake it. So we had a nice sell-off on earnings. See if we can mark some levels here. This is still a relatively new stock. Still relatively new. Had his IPO back in May, right before the summer. So I try not to trade any of these stocks if they're less than 6 months old. But this one has matured enough. And we've got pretty huge windows of opportunity here. And you see right now we're in this window between 83.49 and 96.78. So a lot of room to play with here. So we'll see. This might be a little bit more volatile than normal today, but if you manage your risk, you'll be just fine. As long as the spread stays good, which, it's been staying within 10 cents for the most part, should be pretty good today. Should do pretty good. Now, a couple people have asked me, and they've made the observation that the company made money. It reported good earnings, but this is like the second time that they've done it. They've reported, second time they reported earnings, second time that it has dropped. But the last time, back in July, they had announced a secondary offering along with it. This time, the lockup expiration is expiring. So that means, people that were early investors that could not sell can sell now. So obviously that's going to cause it to go down for the most part. Let me check something here. BYND. What the hell is wrong with this one? I've got to reserve some shares right now. They've only got 10,000 shares left, so I got to reserve some. But that website doesn't work. You got to go on. Give me 1 second. You got to go on the website and use the chat. This takes too much time. All right, so we got that working. Answer me, please. I'm not saying this is a short, but it is a short opportunity. We've seen this before. We've seen it set up, and it looks like it's going to be a short today, and it doesn't work out. It ends up going to the long side. So what I'm saying, we've got a big window to the upside, a smaller window down, but a nice window either way. All right, so we looked at BYND. We'll take a look at GRUB. We will put BYND on our watch. Be the first one. All right, so Grub is up next. Like I said, I don't really like the pre-market price action on Grub. However, that doesn't mean that it won't be a good trader. So what we need to do is vet it, see what levels are in play here. And then kind of go from there. Looks like we have gap down to a 52-week low, which is what I like. So this was the previous 52-week low. Huge gap down. Let me remove this. This is old. This is from last year. All right, so definitely going to be on our watch. I love stocks that hit their 52-week low. They usually give good opportunities. Only problem is this one may, let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do something about this. So everything looks good on it. All right. So I'm looking for it to open. It may open up and give us a little bit better price action. The range is good, so I'm happy about it. Just not 100% on Joe, I mean, I really don't know what your plan is. So whether you should hold or sell, it really depends on your plan. You know, what targets you had set out and all that good stuff. I mean, I personally still think this is going to go, has the potential to get to 150 or 150 plus, but you got to kind of trade whatever your plan was on it. All right, so we might see on K. This one's on earnings as well. 62.98. Let's mark the 50-day. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do at the open. I just wait and let the market open. I have a plan for it either way. And I try not to speculate. I don't want any bias clouding my judgment. I want to, whatever the market tells me, that's what I'm going to trade. Excuse me. Man, there's a big supply zone in here, man. Wicked. Man, must have accidentally clicked save as default. We got a pretty big supply zone up here. All right, so K it doesn't look as promising. It does look a little crowded, but we'll see what happens when the lights come on. NXPI is the next one up. So it looks like we got some good ones. No, if it's hitting 52-week lows, it could go lower or it could bounce all the way back up to the 52-week low. So I like them. They could do either or. And typically, they're clean moves either way. If it bounces back to the previous 52-week low, there's no support or resistance in there other than maybe pre-market. And if it continues to sell off, there's no support below. So, that's why I like them the most. Here's just the opposite NXPI. $52-week high gap. Definitely like it. Definitely like it. See, MRTX. What's the news on it? I know after the market, it announced some positive drug study. That's what kind of rocketed it after market. Man, that's a pretty huge jump. I mean, that is huge. I mean, it dipped over its 52-week high, or all-time high, or 52-week high. Yeah, let's mark our levels. This looks like it might be crowded. So let's take a look and see. Oh, sounds like my dogs are ready to go out. I'm marking all of these levels because it gapped all the way up. So I'm going to mark all of these. Even though it fell back to earth. And I wish I had been watching the market a little bit closer yesterday after the close. I would have shorted the hell out of this thing. After that big parabolic move up. I mean, these are set up. All right. So these are set up to give us these pretty big moves. All right, so we got a lot of traffic. I just marked everything in this big range here. So we've got a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic on this. I'm probably not gonna put this one on watch. All right, guys, give me a second. Let me let my dogs out, and I'll come back and we will finalize my watch list here. All right, so um, AMD doesn't have a gap. GM doesn't have a gap. Plus, it's a higher float stock. We've got NXPIK, obviously MasterCard financial stock, but it's out of our price range here. So we've got all of the upward earnings on here. We've got BYND, BP, not cutting it. Plus, it's a oil, oil stock. Shopify, out of our price range. Obviously this one out of our price range here. So we've got all of the ones on earnings. We've got them. So I think we've got a pretty decent watch list. Yesterday the watch list was pretty good. We had two of the three that actually made good opening range moves and good trend continuation. So looks like we have got some pretty good stocks to watch here. All right. So during this time, I like to watch these stocks as they're going into the open. So I like to watch the 30 minutes leading into the open. This gives me a really good idea of what to expect from most stocks. Now, some will sit there and won't move until the open, but a lot of them will start early. They'll start, making making their move, or kind of setting the early stages. Well, my rule in terms of float is was usually 50 million shares, a 50 million share float, but between 25 million and 50 million is fine. Just depends on the price, price of the stock. MRTX, yeah, it was just way too much traffic. Let me see if I've got it up. See, it's just way too much. I mean, this thing can open up and get into this window here, which is a nice profit window. But I've got I've got several other stocks that are really pretty good. But MRTA, it's a 39 million share float, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that because we are trading at like $90. So MRTX is good. And it could be tradable. I mean, I could easily swap MRTX for K, if I wanted to, because K is not that good either. But I think K would be an easier trader. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with MRTX other than it was just a lot of traffic. So yeah, I don't think Matthew. I don't think it's too risky of a stock. I think out of all the stocks that we have on watch, the most risky would probably be BYND because of the lockup expiring today. So it may be pretty volatile. You know what I mean? So, if anything, that might be a little bit more risky, but so Roku is not on our watch this morning. See, NXPI, here's a pre-market high. $113.50. $113. What's that? 113.50 is the previous 52-week high, I believe. $112.06. So this is a daily level here. That's a couple cents off, but that'll be all right. 110.34. All right. So we've got yeah, what you're seeing right now is what the members in the chat room are seeing. I'm just streaming what they're seeing right now. So yeah, I've got a room. Well, it's different. It's just a membership that it has a chat room, but you get all of the classes and everything else. Yeah, Matthew, if you're uncomfortable with something, definitely size down. Definitely size down if you're uncomfortable. We're still putting in. I think you're probably going to get a lot of people taking profit today. I'm thinking I might want to use my other account for this. That's what I'm thinking. Because this is going to be on short sale restriction. I know it's going to be on short sale restriction. You may have to get it early. I don't know how this is gonna be in terms of a day trade. I know this is gonna be on short sale restriction probably as soon as it opens. I've got some shares locked up, so I'm good with that. Got 200 shares of it locked up. So I think this may dump. This may dump pretty good. So I'll have to work that. In the main account. Okay, GRUB is still not doing much. Still not doing much. 51, 57 was the pre-market low. I mean, not pre-market low, the 52-week low. But it's still not really doing much. And here's the pre-market low. And K has pretty much taken itself out. It's kind of my last on the list watch. Here's 62.98. So you can see everything that K has going on around it. And 61.56. So we'll see. Yeah, I was muted. I have to mute every now and then. So yeah, it's nothing wrong with your thing. I'm actually doing it. So y'all good to go. All right. So right now it's just a matter of sitting back waiting to see what is going to kick off here. I drink Starbucks coffee. I love their coffee. And I got a long-term position in Starbucks. Starbucks is one of my core companies. No, it's not. It hasn't really been quiet. We've got several. We have got several. See, that's why I had to take some of this BYND. This is gonna be on. This is gonna be on short sale restriction at the open. And if we get a mad sell off, you won't be able to get in. So SSR is not kicked in. So that's why I had to get some early. Because I don't want to miss this move. It still may be good and it still may set up for a it still may set up for the opening range trade, but I think this might be because the next level is 77. So we shall see. My stop is it'll will be a reversal trend. This will probably be an all day hold if we continue to sell off all day. But if the trend reverses, I'll take it off. But let's see if we can get a day trade on this. This is what we're looking at. Yeah, it could be a good ORB. That's what I'm looking for. But you don't know if it's going to wash or not. I've seen these stocks that were on lockup at the open just tank with people selling their position. They're able to sell for the first time, and so they're dumping. So if it's on short sale restriction, you probably won't get a good entry. But if it doesn't dump and it does trade respectfully, then we'll be able to get in the ORB trade. TXRH doesn't have any doesn't even have 50,000 shares of volume. No, I don't trade those ETFs. So now UJazz, DJazz, I don't trade those. Oh man, I got white numbers on this. All right, almost go time here. And it looks like NXPI is picking up some volatility here. This one is my favorite. But of course, I want to buy right now. Of course, I want to buy right now. I don't really need to trade ETFs. I do really well with just trading stocks and doing what I do. So ETFs is not part of what I do. Yeah, I told you BYND was going to be on short sale restriction. Damn. See, this is why I told you I know I wanted to buy this. I wanted to buy this right on the break. I wanted this so bad on the break. That's not the setup. It's just not the setup. Just not the setup. So we've got two that's doing pretty decent here. Well, this is on SSR, so you're going to have to get in on an uptick. And this might be a better trade. Why is this thing so fucked up right now? Everything is screwed up. That's the opening range low. Wow, this thing is still ripping. Still ripping, still ripping, still ripping, still ripping. Grub may be doing this thing here. Let's see what Grub does. No volatility in Grub, man. No volatility. You can see K is sitting on too much support. I don't have any more shares of Grub. All the shares are gone. They're gone. All of them are gone. What a crock. What a crock. All I got is some BYND. I got some shares of it locked up. But I'm already trading that, so.
Grub.
Oh man, what a stab in the back. What a stab in the back. Now K actually made a good breakdown move. The problem is you would have had to short into I would have had to short, into the daily 20, the 50 right here. I would have had to short into that. And I just couldn't do it. So this made a really good move. It's just I couldn't short into all of that traffic. I needed that clean move. I mean, if we could establish over the pre-market high right here, that would be a good anticipation of the 5-minute opening range high here. But we can't establish over this level. We've got a daily level right here and the pre-market high, both of them right on top of each other. It's proven to be some solid resistance right here. So if it could work its way over there, that we may have a trade. Because that's what I'm looking at. It's all about being patient and not forcing the setups. I'm really disappointed that the Grub shares ran out. I didn't think to lock any of them up. I didn't think Grub was going to run out. But they did. It's not really moving much. Everything today just kind of died. Looking at BYND, look at it. Here's a 5-minute opening range high. It broke it, but look at all of the resistance above it. So, I mean, if it pushes up over here, we got to trade. But right now, there's no short setup. And these are the days that can really mess new traders up. And I think this was going to be good. Oh, I can't believe all of these shares got taken. We had shares pre-market. We had them.
Grub.
So let's see what BYND is going to do. Have to be extra patient this morning. Kind of wait on the market to come to us. Tell us, hey, here is a trade for you. Because remember, the market's open all day. Too many times I pushed the envelope and then I made good trades in the middle of the day that had I just been patient at the open and not forced the issue, I could have had really good days with just my afternoon trades. And see, there was a time where
Grub.
a situation like Grub, I would come unglued.
Grub.
And every time I hear Grub, I cringe. All right, BYND, we going long here. Over the 20, I was looking to go long. God dog it. I didn't mean to click the button, guys. That was an accident. I did not mean to click the button.
AMKR.
This happens sometimes with these hot buttons. I'm moving around the tight.
AMKR.
And I've got one of these gaming mice, and I hit the side button while I'm moving it, and it accidentally puts me in a position. So now I'm just gonna hold this for a second. I'm gonna see if it holds. If it sells, we're gonna flip it.
XRX.
All right. Under this, that was an accident.
XRX.
How I lose you money in the simulator?
Grub.
I don't. Oh, joke. I probably need to just get a regular mouse. Cause this thing, I've got shares. I'm showing shares of BYND, but I don't have any grub. Now the shares of BYND. What the hell? But I still got shares. Or at least I should. But I'm actually looking to. I was actually looking
AMKR.
to bounce this.
Grub. AMKR.
This whole time I'm messing around. There's my NXPI. All right, so I gotta wait for this candle here. All right. So this is what I was waiting on NXPI. I did not lock up shares on Grub.
AMKR. Let's move all of this out the way so I won't have that happen anymore. MPC.
What the fuck happened to this? What the You got to be shitting me.
MPC.
What did it do? Man, you people. This is ridiculous, man. See range. range. As low as 350. Oh man, this NXPI can't stay. We'll see what it does. Just have to be patient. Gotta be patient and see if this thing's gonna work. That's the hardest part about this. What type of entry was NXPI? Are you looking at the chart? I said it before I even took it. What I was looking for it was to bounce off of this and break over the pre-market high. And we're looking for the move up to the previous 5-minute opening range high. This is a 1.5 move. Well, I mean a point move, I'm sorry. All the way up to this. So, no, not FOMO. BYND was just an accident. Got to move past that. Jose, the stop is the low of this candle here. So we just got to let it work, see if it's going to work itself out. It's having a hard time holding over this, and it seems like it's putting some resistance right here. It seems like my entry has turned into resistance. It's crazy. But we got to give it time to work. Yeah, I use stops, but I don't put in hard stops immediately. I'll wait. I try to wait until I take profit.
MPC.
The stop is the low of this candle here. If we break the low of this pullback, then the trend is broken. This is not really the cleanest bull flag. I mean, honestly I don't see a bull flag in it. The best entry I saw on this was a break of this pre-market high. That was the best entry I saw on it. That's what I was waiting on. It's just having some trouble up here. You know, we didn't see it on the previous break, but we're having some trouble up here. So I fully expected this to run back up through 118, testing the 5-minute opening range high. That's what I saw. That's what I was saying. You know, why I was looking for it to do that, and that this was a big enough window. You know, big enough profit window for this to make sense. That if it did get stuck here, we could take it off and we'd be fine. So but we just have to wait and see. I mean, it just depends on what the market has in store for it. And we could trade the chart. We just trade the chart. That's all we can do. Trade the chart and let everything else do what it's gonna do. Fed days usually don't give opportunities. Every now and then you may have a stray bullet, but for the most part, Fed days are pretty slow. So what day today I think is a consumer spending index. Let me see. We've got several things coming out this week. Let's see, we have consumer confidence is today, third quarter GDP growth, and the Fed rate decision tomorrow. And then the September jobs report comes out on Friday. Well, I didn't have any shares of Grub. All the shares ran out. So I didn't have any. That was the one I would have won. I went to trade it and didn't have any more shares. They were all sucked up. Man, it sucks. It just seems like no matter what I do, I put myself in a hole first thing in the morning. Sometimes it's by my own doing. Yeah, it would have. That's the struggles of trading. That's the struggles of trading.
AMD.
And it doesn't look like this has enough strength to push. All I'm seeing is selling. I'm not seeing any buying whatsoever. So the only thing that made this morning really messed up is my mouse accident. And yeah, I could have just clicked out of it, but
AMD.
sometimes things work out. All right, let me put my stop in. I'm putting it at 116.50. It's already done. I'm already done. Well, that is my morning completely screwed up. Completely. It's like my entry turned into resistance right here. So this 2-week pattern that I'm in, it's like I'm in a 2-week pattern where I have a good day and then I turn around and have a bad day. I have a good day, then a bad day. But because I don't let it blow up on me, look at this. Now check this out now. Check this shit out. This is what I was waiting on. Uh, this was the move I was waiting on. This is what I was waiting on.
AMD.
All right, so it pulled back far enough for me to get in. So I'm looking for the 50 up here. I'm looking for it to bounce up to the 50. Come on, let's get through 86. It's having trouble at 86. Oh, shit, it keeps getting slapped. It got slapped at 86. Come on, baby, push 86. I want to see 86.50. Come on, where's my buying army? Come on in. Let's drive it up. Alright, so this is my last hoorah this morning. If I fail to get the push on this, I'm gonna quit. Put my target out there. See if we can run up and hit it. Come on, make Papa. There we go. Make Papa proud. Make Papa proud. Next one is going to be 87.50, which is going to be the, come on. 87.50, which is going to be the 50.
Grub.
We got a short squeeze going here. I'm having performance problems with my Thinkorswim, of course.
Grub.
Man, this is frustrating. This is going to pull back and stop me out before it makes the move. This is a big part of the frustration that I deal with. We should be able to get 87.50 without any problems. We just need somebody to come up here and kick it in the ass. Damn it. I may have to kill this. So we're not getting the drive. We're going to pull back. Looks like we're going to pull back before it takes off. This should not pull back before it hits at least 87. I just don't get it, man. Come on, give me 87. I'll take 87 on this trip. I'll take 87. I won't be greedy. All right, thank you. Shit, I feel a lot better now. All right, so I got my stop in at break even. So if it pulls back now, it'll stop. It'll stop me at break even. I can still work it. Well, and this is one of the points. This is one of the biggest issues. I know one of the biggest issues I had when I would make a mistake and would cost myself some money. I would get so frustrated that my day would continue to go downhill. And so I did good.
Right.
I didn't get pissed off with this BYND mess, accident early. I didn't get pissed off at it. NXPI, we were trading it. I didn't get pissed off at it. This was just a trade that did not work. It's still in play, guys. This trade is still in play. It just hit my stop. But it's still in play. Now, the likeliness of it making the move I wanted, it's getting slimmer by the minute. But it's still in play. It still has potential to make that move. So you got to stay positive. Got to stay positive. I don't use the SMA. I'm using the EMA. So we might blow through this. See, we might blow through this. Let's see. Yeah, I saw that. That's where I had my original target at 87.50. And if it gets back up there again, I'll probably take half off. But that was where I had my original target. Because 87.23, something like that, is the that's gonna be the 50. So I probably should have put it at 87.50 and let it and took a piece off there. Because we had a strong candle up into that. Look at this. We had a strong 2-minute candle. But look at what's happening. I mean, I like the strength in this. Because everything short term is moving up. Let me throw this bone out here and see if it gets it. I'm gonna throw a bone out at 88, 80, 88, 7, 87, 75. I've got that bone out there. Let's see. I got to get a bidder willing to buy it at 87.75. There we go. All right, so just like yesterday, if we, I'm going to put this back at break even. If we get a pullback, a deep pullback, I'm going to add back to this. If not, the 100 is my target. The 100 EMA. So that'll be 90.35.
Grub.
All right, so if it gives me an opportunity on a pullback, I'll take it.
GVA.
What do you mean? They're right there. Where it says trades, you see the trade log, and then the arrows, the triangles on the chart are showing you oh.
GVA.
Wow, there's a lot of volume going through right now. A ton of volume. Excuse me.
Grub. GVA.
And that was a good quick hit. I was looking for a short squeeze. Cause at the open, see how you made this huge bottom and tail? And I was just waiting for it to get above all of this. The 9, the 20, the VWAP. So, I wanted to get in this, and that's why I had this set up on my montage. But I could not hold it. I mean, I had to stop. I had to stop out. I didn't have a choice. This wasn't the ideal entry. Number one, so I had to stop out because we never did establish over the 20. But once this candle closed over the 20, and then as soon as this candle made a higher high, that triggered an entry. And all I was doing was looking for it to kind of take out these moving averages as we move up.
Grub.
So if we get a pullback here and a good bounce, I'm going to add back, looking to catch this 90 up here. Because it's got to pull back in order to get there. Yeah, typically that's telling you that we're not going to go down. Every time you see that, and it really comes from me trading my opening range strategy. Every time I see a candle that has a big bottom and tail, that pretty much tells me we're not going to sell off. Especially after a big run down the way we had. So my thing was, we're going to get some buying coming in here. And honestly, if you look at NXPI, we could use the same I could use the same thesis on NXPI that this isn't going to go up anymore. I mean, the only thing I liked about this, we were over the pre-market high, and we had a nice trend going up. It's like we tried to sell off, but we couldn't, and we had a strong candle come in. So I felt we had a chance to make it here before it could potentially fail. But I could use the same rationale on this. We had a big top and tail, but typically you want this to be red. You want this to be a red candle versus a green candle. My margin is 6 times Say how much I've got. How much I got? 38, maybe 3,800 in it now. Close to 3,800. All right, man, it's really early in this. So I will be looking to add here if this bounce holds. I mean, this thing could sell off and come back. But if this bounce holds, I can buy it.
HCA.
Yeah, I'm only trading one stock at a time. That's all I recommend anybody to do.
Grub.
Trade one stock at a time in your account. Now I've got multiple accounts I can trade, but I'll only trade unless I'm swing trading. I'm only going to have one trade on at a time. And that's all you need.
BIMI.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, when the scanner when the scanner says it calls out a stock, it makes you want to jump to it. Especially on a slow day. If you're on a slow day and the scanner just goes off, you be like, yeah. And you want to trade it.
GVA.
All right, so
IPGV.
can't get the right price on this. 88.80 is the upper deviation band from the VWAP study. And you know, I use this to give me an indication of what this stock is doing in terms of buying pressure or selling pressure. So as it's coming down, it's showing me that we've lost buying pressure. We don't have any more buying pressure up here. Yeah, so I think this move is done. But not a bad trade. This is why you gotta keep your focus and not let this market get into your head. You know, if you make a mistake, fine, accept it. If you know the trade doesn't work, fine, accept it. There's nothing you can do about it. As long as you did what you were supposed to do.
IPGP.
Now that VWAP, the deviation band is part of the VWAP study on Thinkorswim. So I'm watching it. I'm looking at the Thinkorswim chart, and I'm watching the upper deviation band. If it starts to trend down, that tells me we're losing buying pressure. Or if it flattens out.
FISV.
See, right now it's at 88, 86. So we have jumped up a little bit. So it fluctuates. It goes up and down, up and down. So when it flattens out or it's coming down, I know we're losing buying pressure, and I'm probably not going to take a long trade. Yeah. No, DOS doesn't have it. So I have to physically draw a line when I'm illustrating it.
FISV. FISV. IPGP.
All right, so I'm looking to add back for the move up to the 100 if this move holds. If this bounce holds,
FISV.
I will look to get back in, because this upper deviation band is pushing up bit by bit, but I'm not going to buy into the 50. I've got to wait for it to claim that 50.
FISV. IPGP.
Grub is not,
FISV.
it's not too far overextended. It's just not moving very fast. So I don't know how much of a move you're going to be able to get with it going as slow as it's going. That's kind of the issue. All right. So we are
IPGP.
ready to add back here. Just giving it a couple of ticks to see if it's going to hold.
FISV.
It's got to hold this 200.
Grub.
If it doesn't, I can't add back. That looks like that was the classic trap. If you jump the gun on this, you got burned. So you had to wait. I'm not sure how many people they baited in with this move.
Grub.
But they made it look like it was getting ready to take off. Bounce again, and they pull a rug right out from up under you. Classic trick. Classic trick. Yeah, we had a lot of activity today. Not all good, but it was enough. So maybe that squeeze is dead. Maybe that squeeze is dead. Yeah, see, what happened to my... Did it cancel? Why did my order cancel?
Grub.
I had a freaking range order in there and the damn thing canceled. Oh, let me try it again. There it goes. You could ask me that question. I don't think anybody else will be able to answer it any better than me. Nah, but Grub, by the time the market opened, there were no more shares to short. None. Brr-pa-pa. Well, that's perfect, man. This takes us into lunch. Right up into my lunchtime. I don't really see anything. You know, I would love to jump this short. But I let those shares go. I do not have them anymore. So nothing I can do there. That's kind of why you had to grab them early. Now, this could have another bounce in it. It could have another squeeze. I will be watching. You know, for later on in the day. They came back at 10 a.m. Yeah, I wasn't looking at the chart. Once I saw they were gone at the open, I didn't mess with it anymore. But by then it was too late. By then it was too late. Because you guys saw me. You guys are my witness. And it's recorded on YouTube as well. When I brought up Grub to try to get in, there were no shares to short. At the open, they were gone. And after that, I wasn't paying attention to it anymore. Like, I didn't even go back to look. I was already in another trade anyway, so. But I'm showing 40,000 shares now. But I won't be chasing it down right now. That I will not do. Yeah. Really any DOS platform. It looks like it is still selling off pretty good. It's below 20 on the RSI, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be the one to chase it. So I'm gonna show you exactly what it looks like. All right, now it's down to 35,000. Okay, here is the trading limits. All you got to do it if you're on SureTrader, all you have to do under the trades tab is go to short list. When you click on short list, this is what comes up. And you just type in the tickers and it'll tell you how many shares are available. Whether it's on margin restriction, whether it's a high risk, how many shorts are available. So it makes it real easy in the morning. Cause see, BYND we had shares, but it was only 20,000, and I knew they were gonna run out first. Let me pop this back in. All right. Nah, Thinkorswim, I haven't found it on Thinkorswim yet. All right, guys, so that wraps my morning up. Very eventful morning, that's for sure. Whole lot of fun. So hopefully the afternoon will be just as exciting and just as eventful. So we've lost VWAP on BYND. Not sure if it's gonna sell back through this level or not. And if it's gonna come all the way back through. No, but this is a moot point right now. We don't really need that. We'll just put in this thing is jumpy today for some reason. We'll just put in this intraday resistance here, because this is, it ran out. I mean, right in the middle of nowhere. Right in the middle of nowhere, in between the 20 and the 50. They decided to kill that move. Now, here's the thing. If we get a higher low bounce, I would still be skeptical, because look at, everything's trending down right now. There's a lot of weakness. You may get we may get a squeeze here, but there is a lot of weakness that's being portrayed here. Yep, made it work. Yep, Ed is good. My think of swim chart. My wrong one. It's coming up. It just takes a minute to catch up with itself. Yeah, I'm going to take my lunch break. This is my think and swim chart. This is the lower deviation band. This is the upper deviation band. All part of the VWAP study. So you can see how it kind of ran into it here. Usually it will not trade outside of the deviation band for long. Most of the time when you're getting some volatility, it'll push through it, but it won't stay above it for long. And this pretty much guides me and tells me how much room this stock can potentially move that day. But you can see this was up to 88.90 at one point, and it keeps dropping. Now, if it starts to push back up and we start to bounce, I'll be re-engaged. No, I mean, it's not much to talk about. I mean, I do talk about them in the day trading class. And I do cover it, as part of the VWAP study. but it's not really enough information to do a class on, a separate class on. Because for me, all this is telling me is, do we have selling pressure? Do we have buying pressure? Or has it neutralized? When we're trading sideways, it's neutralized. They're regular settings. +2, -2. The default settings. Yeah, I like these bands from the VWAP study are more accurate to me. All I did was go in and change the color so that the upper band and the lower band is the same color. So I could quickly identify, every now and then, like right here, when the 50 is close, it gets a little confusing. But other than that, I'm going to be able to distinguish between the two. All right, guys. Um, the VWAP, it's the VWAP, the deviation bands are basically, they're taking the calculation from the VWAP and then readjusting it or configuring it, and you're able to see buying pressure and selling pressure. However they do it, I don't even know how they do it or how they calculate. I hadn't even figured it out, but all I can do, it just gives me a visual depiction of where the buying pressure or the selling pressure, whether it's coming in or not, or whether it's just flat. And if it's just flat, I know I'm not buying or I'm not shorting because it's just neutral right now. I'll just leave it alone. But yeah, in the opening range trade, typically, just like on BYND, we had that bottom and tail. This is what I like to see. I like to see it open and sell off, and then it gets bought up, and it closes at the high. And that kind of gives me an indication that we're not going to go any lower. And likewise, on NXPI, this one gave us a top and tail, but this isn't a red candle. Typically, I like it to be red. I like it to open here, push up, and then sell all the way off, and it, close down here red. That's typically, that tells me that, hey, we probably aren't going to break this level. And you can see we just haven't done it. But because this was a green candle, I gave it a chance over the pre-market high, thinking worst case scenario, this would be the end of the move, which would have locked in some profit. But it failed. Yeah, because it was still a green candle, and these two candles never really lost this support here. I thought, and I had a good reason to believe we were going to stay high. If I saw this tomorrow, I'll take it again. And that's kind of the litmus test I use.
CB.
When I go back and I review these trades and I look at it and I say, okay, if I saw this tomorrow, would I still take it? Absolutely. So I know that was a good trade. Was it a good stop? Was it a good exit? Yeah. I managed my risk. That was good. So that's kind of the litmus test I use on these. Now, can this go? Yeah. This can still go, but I just don't see any right now. I don't see any volatility, but you can't really predict it. It can come in at any time and it could go out just as quick. You can't predict it. So I'm not the type to just get in and cross my fingers and hope it goes. So yeah, it did indicate it. It did give me that indication. And it kind of goes to what I say all the time. These trades aren't going to look identical. They're going to be different. They're going to look different. From day to day, things are going to look different. They're going to set up different. They're going to trade differently. But it's the same setup. So the only way to gain that experience is to be in the market. You can't shortchange that. No shortcuts in market time. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me on YouTube. I'm gonna go run and grab my lunch. Get reset. Then we'll come back and see what this afternoon is gonna do. See if we get another trade opportunity. Maybe add to this day, and we'll go from there. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you got something out of this morning. If not, come back the next time I do it. Hopefully you'll get something there. Or if you like what you see, come join us every day. We do this. This is what we do every day. This is what we do every day. So take care.